Do you hear audio now? Do you hear audio? Do you hear audio now? Do you hear audio? Do you hear audio now? All right, looks like it's coming through okay. All right, looks like it's coming through okay. I sound a little out of tune. I just tuned it. All right, so hopefully everybody is doing well today. Thank you for joining me for the 35th. All right, so Gwup today, everybody is doing well today. We're going to be doing some interesting things today. We always do interesting things. At least I hope we do interesting things. We're going to be doing some. This particular one, we're going to be doing an interesting chromatic exercise. This particular one, we're going to be doing might be a little finger twisty for some of you, and then we're going to be doing some stuff with chromaticism. So we've got a chromatic scale. We're going to do some chromaticism and talk a little bit about what's going on with that and how you can use that, as well as working on some arpeggio scale kind of things to help you along, to get you kind of maybe thinking in that realm. It's so useful in everything that you do. Getting double video. I don't know what that means. It's so useful in everything that you do. Getting double video. Getting double video. I don't know what that means. There's an echo. Okay, hold on. Getting double video. There's an echo. Okay, hold on. Okay, that's muted. Hold on. That's muted. Okay, that's muted. Hold on. That's muted. Okay, that's muted. I'm not sure why that's happening. That's not on. There shouldn't be. Not sure why that's happening. Let me see. Maybe that's not on. Nope, I don't have any feedback or going from the headphones. Let me see. That's not on. Nope, I don't have any feedback or going from the headphones. Yeah, I don't know. And that's unfortunate. So sometimes I get a little feedback if the web browser is on. You know, the microphone is turned on. Let's try that. Okay, if that didn't work, I'm not sure. Whoops. Is that better? It's fixed. Excellent. Thank you, Linda. Wow. I've never had that issue before, so I'm not sure why that happened. Anyway, let's get on with the show, shall we? So the first exercise we're going to do is the chromatic exercise. And this is just going to be a kind of short one, but I'm sure it's something that you'll want to work on. At least a nice warm-up. We're going to go from, it's going to be a 3-octave chromatic scale. So we're going to start here. We're going to go to the next octave, and end up here for the high G. And so here's the way this goes. And I saw this, and I can't remember where I had seen this done. Anyway, I hope you like it. So we're going to start off with 3rd fret, 1st finger. Okay? And what you're going to do is you're going to play 3 notes and 3 fingers. You're going to go 1, 2, 3. All right? So for this one, I'm picking down, up, down. Okay? And then the next note is going to be here, right? That's the next fret. But instead of doing the pinky, I'm going to position shift to the 2nd finger. Okay, so it looks like this: 1, 2, 3, then 2, 3, 4. All right, let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. All right, so then you're getting 6 notes on that low string, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Then what happens is, so from here, the way that the chromatic scale works, on the guitar anyway, I'm going to go to the next string because the next note is going to be this, which is your C sharp. And to get a C sharp on the next string, I have to do a finger stretch to get that note there. And do the same thing. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. All right. So that can be a little tricky. It'll be tricky to see it, but the more that you play it, that little finger stretch that happens in there becomes more natural. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, finger stretch, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Same thing on this one. Do the finger stretch to the next string. Okay, same thing, finger stretch to the next one. Okay, so now we get to where that pesky B string, that second string is. So because of the way that that string is tuned, I don't need to do a stretch there. So it's actually, I'm ending up here, I just bring my index finger down and do 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. Then we're back to our finger stretch thing. 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4. And so I end up at the 14th, and I just shift my pinky up 1 fret to get that G. Okay, so the whole thing, we're not going to do it this quickly, but and end up on that top note. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with that. And so for now, we're going to play quarter notes for this. This is, if you look at the sheet music that I put up for you, if you didn't see that, that's in the chat of YouTube. If you're watching this on Facebook, make sure that you go to the YouTube stream to get the link to download the sheet music. And so the sheet music is written in triplets. So you're going to go 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a, right? We're not going to play it that quickly because, you know, you're just learning this. So we're going to do it as quarter notes. So here we go. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you can do this 2 different ways. You can go down, up, or since we're going so slowly, you can go down, 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 down. And that's the way I'm going to do it. And I'm going to play it as a rest stroke because I like that. So if you've been watching Gwup for a while now, you know I talk about the rest stroke where you pick the string and you're sort of picking into the guitar slightly so that the pick will rest, actually pushes up against the adjacent string. So I go, right? It's always pushing against that next string. Okay, so let's give that a shot together. Hopefully you guys are in tune, but it doesn't matter because I can't hear you. And we'll start off with a 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, go. Second finger, finger stretch. Second finger, finger stretch. Second finger, 2, 3, 4, finger stretch. And then here we don't do a finger stretch. 2, 3, finger stretch. 2, 3, 4, slide up to the 5th. Let's do that again. Back to the beginning. 1, 2, ready, go. Finger stretch. Same fret, yep. Second finger, stretch. slide up to the 15th. Beginning, and the 1, 2, 3, 1 last time, go. Same fret here. And slide up to the 15th. All right, so hopefully that worked out well for everyone. If you need to go slower when you practice this, go slower. You can just even do it rubato if you wanted to, just to get used to where that shift is, because we might be used to shifting 1, 2, 3 and then going right to the index finger, right? But then you'd have to like really stretch back to get that. You'd have to stretch back 2 frets in order to get that next note, or really jump back. There, we don't. It's a neat little finger twister exercise, and I like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, if you guys have any questions on that, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep on keeping on. So this first exercise, this second exercise, I should say, the first of the second exercise, we're going to start off, and I'm going to build this up from like the basic to more complex, if you will. It's not really more complex. I'm just going to add more things to it. So we're going to start off on E. So this is 7th fret on the 5th string, on your A string. Okay, so that's an E. Right? And so if you look at your sheet, if you have that in front of you, you can see the diagram for that, and it's also tabbed out. We're going to go okay, this is a major 7 arpeggio. You've got the root, the major 3rd, the 5th, the major 7, and we go 5, major 3, back to 1. Okay. Let's play that. What we're going to do is we're going to play, we're going to go 1 time, shift up, so this would be E. We're to shift up to F, play the same thing. Shift back to E, then down to E flat, and back up to E. Okay, so we're just kind of outline that E to F to E to E flat back to E. Okay, let's start there, and whoops. I'm gonna move my. Actually, I'm gonna change metronomes here, and we're gonna start at 60 beats per minute, and we're going to play this as 1/8 notes. Hopefully. All right. So we're gonna go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It'll sound like this. Actually, that's too fast. That's too fast to start off with. That's too fast too. Let's go 80 beats per minute as quarter notes for today. All right. So it's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Okay, play this with me. Here we go. 1, 2. You know what to do. And 1. Shift up. Shift down. Down. Up. do that again. Here we go. A 1. Shift up. Shift down. And down. And up. Okay. Again, I hope that went well for you guys. Now, we're going to add some chromaticism to this. And not all of it's going to be chromatic. So this first one is not necessarily chromatic, but it is a half step. But it's still in the key. That's the key. That's confusing. So the first note, again, if we count this as 1, 3, 5, 7, the 1, 3, 5, 7 are the notes of the chord, of this E major 7 chord. Or we could just think about it as E. Okay, we're just adding the 7 in there, 1, 3, 5, 7. On the 1, I'm going to go to its lower neighbor, a half step, and back to it. So that's a lower neighbor action. We go down to it and come back up to the note again. Okay, and then we're going to finish off and do the rest of the arpeggio, so it'll sound like this. Okay, 1. So this is the same. We're adding that. You get that kind of idea. So we're going to do this a little more slowly, I think, because of that addition. 1 and 2. Quarter notes again. 1, 2, 1, 2 with me and go. Again. Let's shift up here. Here we go. Shift up. Shift down. And down. Back up. Shift up. And down. And down. And up. Yeah. All right. Let's add another tone to it. So this is exercise number 2C. We're keeping this, right? And we're adding the lower neighbor on each of the chord tones. So the next chord tone, we think about the third, we could get it there, but what we're going to do is we're going to do the finger stretch. All right, so finger stretch is the pinky, you get the string above it. Right, so we have a G sharp, we get G, back to the G sharp. All right, so today's Gwup is sponsored by the finger stretch. Okay, so I have this lower neighbor here. And then I'm going to go up the scale. This pinky here. We go to the third. Finger stretch. And back. So listen to how that sounds. All right, try that a couple times with me. Now let's walk the scale up to the fifth. So I'm going to go. Okay, so really all I'm doing, you think about and then we've done this 5-tone thing before, 5 tones of the major scale. Right, that's the major scale. So I get the lower neighbor here, walk it up to the third, lower neighbor here, walk it up to the fifth, and back down to the root. Okay? I think it's really good to think about what's going on there as you play, because if you know, these are like tools or the mechanisms of playing lines or creating melodies or even bass lines. If you're you know, that kind of thing, you can add these little tones in there, these little chromatic tones that make it sound like you got a whole lot more notes in the scale than, like, well, where are all those notes coming from? And so it's all these like back and forth things. But if you don't hit the right note, it sounds bad. And so the right note, or the one that sounds good, is typically going to be the chord tones. The chord tones always work. So I hit the chord tones on a strong beat. So if you listen to this, I go 1, so 1, 3, 5, they're all landing really strongly on the downbeat. Okay, so let's try number 2, C, again with quarter notes. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Actually, let me just slow this down just a little bit to 75. Okay, 1, 2, with me, ready, go. Finger stretch, back down the scale, shift up, and down the scale, shift down, ready, and shift down, and back up, and up, and back down, ready, go. And down, and last one, back up, go. All right, so hopefully you see that connection, that if I go 1, 3, 5, 7, that this major scale, all those other notes are just kind of filling in the cracks. They're passing tones into that next chord tone. Okay, so the 2D, second to last one, we're adding the chromatic lower neighbor to the fifth. So I go just like the last one, but here it's right, we're getting that third finger. up to the next note, to the 7. And when I say 7th here, I'm talking about the 7th of the chord. So I've got lower neighbor here, scale tone, lower neighbor here, scale tone, lower neighbor, then we go up, then back down. All right, so the whole thing together is going to sound like this. I think the hardest part of this is when you come up this string and you go index, second, fourth finger, and then you got to go here. It's like it was a note that you didn't play. It's like, well, why? That's weird, you know? Yeah, it totally is. But when you hear it, you know, it sounds completely normal. But there are all these other things and shifty things that are going on in there, and that's the chromaticism that's giving you that. And to me, it's a really important thing for leads and melodies and playing rhythm. So it's everything. Let's try this one together. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, hear it, ready, go. Back down the scale. Shift up. Back to E. And down. And up. Yeah. All right. Last one. Okay, so now we've done the lower neighbor on the 3rd, or on the root, on the 3rd, on the 5th. Now we get the 7th. Okay? Everything is the same that we've done. We're just adding that little lower neighbor, that chromatic lower neighbor on the 7th, which is going to sound like this. Okay? That has the same kind of thing as the 5th does, because you've got, so that you skip that note on the way back down. You know, it's like, wow, why does that work? Why does it work? Well, it works because you have that major 7 note in there, and even though you're going to the flat 7, you're not hanging on to it. Because if I went, you know, you would hear that E7 sound, but it's so quick. It doesn't sound bad. It sounds great. So there's so much chromaticism going on in lines, probably people don't even realize that that's what's happening. And if you think about, again, we're just playing a major scale. And then the reason why I showed you that arpeggio in the beginning is because those are the notes that we're doing the lower neighbor on. Okay? All right, let's try the whole thing here with the 7th now added to it. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, go. Shift up and back down, ready, go. Shift down, ready, go. Back up, ready, go. Well, there you have it, folks. So you can take this, and what I would recommend is that you work on it just like I did, just kind of shifting around there, do it slowly. And then once you get it, play it on every fret. And so on. The other thing too, and we've done this in past Gwups where we go around the cycle of fourths. So if I can start here, or I could just start on C. We'll start at the beginning on C, and I would play and going around the cycle of fourths, it goes back to F. Next one is B flat. Oh, can I do it here? That's interesting. Whoa, my fingering changed, right? So how did I do that? How do you do that? Well, some people would just be like, well, I'm not even going to do open strings because the fingering changed. Well, you should be able to do these despite whatever fingering you because you know what the movement should be. So even though everything we started here with the second finger, and here, because it's B flat, I'm going to start in first position, first finger. I should be able to do that. And then the next key is going to be E flat. Next key is going to be, you guessed it, A flat. Right? And so I keep going around the cycle of fourths. And if you don't know those, you can find, just Google it, and you'll find like little things that look like clocks that you can just download a picture of it or whatever, or you could write it down. It'll tell you what it is, and just follow that, and so figure out where all of those notes are for all of those different keys. That's really a lot of work, but if you do that, your playing will start to increase. Your ability will start to increase when you start doing those things. And then you might go, well, okay, so I've done that where I'm starting on the A string, but can I do the same thing on the E string? What changes? Do any strings change? Is the pattern different? What if I start on the fourth string? Can I play it there? Does the pattern change? Those are all things that you need to answer. What if I start on you know, if I started on the third string, does the pattern change? And then work on those. That's some really beneficial stuff. And you know, maybe can I do it in these open keys? Maybe I do it in open G. How do I do the same thing here? Yeah. Right? Can I do it in E? Well, I can't really do it here because that low E has to go down a half step, but it's as low as it's going to go. So I'd have to move it up here or start here. You know, so all these things need to be taken into consideration. And, you know, you can take a simple idea like this and really expand on it and get a lot of information and knowledge on the fretboard. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. I really like these kind of twisty things and playing around with arpeggios to get them to sound a lot better than just, you know, that kind of thing where you're just playing around the arpeggio, which is great, but we can do little things like this to enhance that. So again, hope you enjoyed it. Please download the sheet music if you hadn't done that already. I have put this on a sound slice too, and I didn't put the link in the description, but I will. Maybe I can do that. Actually, can I do that right now? Can I do that without? I'm going to do that right now. That way it's in there. And I don't remember if it actually stays in the stream after the fact, but here it is. There's the sound slice for it. So that way you can just kind of select an exercise. It doesn't move. I just put the one key in there. So hopefully that's enough for you to kind of play along with it. You can adjust the speed to wherever you want it. And then you can take it up into different keys all on your own. Okay, well, I appreciate everybody for sticking around here. We'll be back next month for a new Gwup. Let me see, I got shows coming up. Please check out my website. You can find, I'll be in Mechanicsburg again this Friday at one of the railroad events there in downtown Mechanicsburg. You can find that. That starts at 7 o'clock. You can find that on my website on the tour page. So that's Friday. Hopefully I can see all of you there and your smiling faces, and you can tell me how great you did with all of your Gwup practicing, and that will be awesome. Okay, everybody, have a great night. Appreciate all of you, and we'll see you soon.